And now it's time for the news. Gamescom has come and gone, and we got loads of new previews for upcoming games. But by far the one that I'm the most excited for is the new Batman gameplay trailer. Now, as a huge fan of the Arkham series and VR combat and VR fitness, this just looks like a match made in heaven. We also have a release date of sometime in October, so not too much of a wait now. Pico is releasing a new VR headset to compete directly with the Quest 3 called the Pico 4 Ultra. Equipped with the new XR2 Gen 2 chipset, 2160 by 2160 displays, and a massively upgraded mixed reality camera setup, looks like a pretty damn good option. I do think, however, the lack of a display port is a bit of a missed opportunity and could have enticed those PCVR gamers that are still rocking an old Index or something. Now, as an owner of both the Pico 4 and the Quest 3 myself, not really sure it makes sense to add this one to my arsenal, but they did announce another piece of hardware that did catch my attention. Now, the application of standalone feet tracking is very exciting. One of my favorite VR games is VR Kung Fu, and imagine being able to kick people with your actual legs. Then for VR fitness, this opens up things like dancing, knee strikes, jumping in spot, and of course, VR support as well. All right, back to the main event. Up first on the 5th of September, we have Starwave by Trigaton and SkyMaps Games. Now this one kind of looks like Beat Saber and Synth Riders had a baby. From day one, we get access to 36 different tracks and 6 galaxies to traverse, and because it's freeform, it means you create your own style of movement and become the center of gravity, never flowing through a single level the same way twice. Being a huge fan of VR rhythm games myself, I am looking forward to this one. But one of the most important aspects of rhythm games, in my opinion, is the modding community. So we'll have to wait and see if custom songs are going to be supported, but there are also collectibles, challenges, and leaderboards to increase replayability. Up next, we have Underdogs coming to Pico on the 5th of September by the team over at One Hamza. Now, I have this one on the Quest 3, and it is by far one of my favorite workout by accident games. In a dark and gritty underworld, you and your brother will be piloting a massive mech and fighting for your life in cage matches. It uses gorilla-based movement, and you'll be grabbing, throwing, and swinging huge haymakers at other mechs. Its roguelike gameplay will keep you coming back for more, because after each match, while you catch your breath, you'll go through various encounters to repair, upgrade, or potentially even get robbed, making your next match all that bit harder. It's got 4.9 out of 5 stars with over 1,000 reviews on the Quest store, so if you're Pico only or haven't yet picked this up on Quest or PCVR just yet, I can highly recommend this one. Then we have an Apple Vision Pro exclusive from Shell Games, also coming out on September the 5th. Now, these are the same people that brought you the I Expect You to Die, Silent Slayer, Among Us VR, and my personal favorite, Until You Fall. Here you'll dive into over 70 intriguing puzzles, offering 12 hours of engaging gameplay. Your mission is to strategically eliminate blocks. As you solve each puzzle, you'll be rewarded with a unique decor object. These could be farm animals like cows and pigs to an assortment of fruit. Now these charming collectibles can then be displayed throughout your home, adding a touch of whimsy and achievement to your personal space. This kind of made me wonder if you'll be able to see the collectibles while not in the game and kind of have these digital trophies and artwork around your house while in mixed reality. Now unfortunately I don't have access or plan to have access to an Apple Vision Pro anytime soon, but hopefully this does make its way to the Quest platforms later in the year. Mannequin is leaving early access and getting a full release on PCVR and Quest on the 12th of September. Now this is brought to us by Fast Travel Games, and I actually just tried their free trial and it is incredibly fun. Essentially it's a 2v3 hide and seek FPS multiplayer game. So there's 2 elite agents versus 3 shape-shifting aliens known as mannequins. These aliens can stand still, disguised as frozen statues, and with just a touch of their hand can freeze the agents in place. Agents on the other hand have AMF radars which point them towards the mannequins, but telling friend from foe is down to instinct. And not only is your ammunition limited, but shooting a human jams your gun, giving the mannequins an opportunity to strike. And my only slight gripe with this is it took a while to find a full lobby, but hopefully this will get better with the full release. Hotel Rock and Roll is coming to Quest on the 12th of September. Now this has been out on PCVR for a number of years now, but the team over at Wolf & Wood decided it's now time to bring it over to the Quest. And here you can immerse yourself in the ultimate VR rockstar fantasy. Despite the resistance from diligent hotel staff and your physical limitations, with an arsenal of over 40 weapons and more than 20 enhancements await you to fuel your global rampage. Every suite becomes an arena for destruction, offering a rich environment for strategic mayhem and pre-chaos planning. Arm yourself with an infernal collection of bizarre yet gratifying tools of destruction, ranging from a wet fish to the explosive power of C4 and firearms. So you can either conquer a series of devilish challenges, or after a crap way you can just let out your anger in the sandbox mode. Also on the 12th of September we have Chernobyl Again, which is coming to all VR platforms. Now, apparently a big portion of the Vermagenio team were part of the Chernobyl VR experience back in 2016, which is not really a game but more of a museum-like experience. Now, Chernobyl Again, on the other hand, does claim to be an adventure game created for virtual reality headsets taking place in the 3D scan Chernobyl exclusion zone for a more immersive and engaging experience. So not only will you get a chance to explore the zone and feel its dark atmosphere, but you'll follow a plot full of unexpected twists via different kinds of puzzles that you'll be able to solve while traveling through time and space. Now, your main goal here is to stop the Chernobyl nuclear power plant explosion and the consequences as we know it. But you can also unlock other alternative timelines. Definitely a cool setup, and while I never tried the original, I did enjoy. Well, actually, I don't know if enjoy is the right word, but watching the miniseries in 2019 was pretty haunting, and I imagine experiencing it in VR would be even more intense. One day later, we have Security Control by Eric Gravatt Games coming to Quest, PCVR, and flat screen. Now, one of the coolest things is this is completely crossplay, so if you have friends that don't yet have a VR headset, you can still team up with them. Security Control is a hectic co-op horror game for the casual friend group. It allows players to play as their co-workers and work together to complete tasks and then escape the workplace before getting caught. It also allows players to play against each other and have other players play as security while the others try and escape. The individual rooms and layout of the map are static, but the objects and where they are placed are random. So this allows the player to be familiar with the maps but never quite know where the exits or objects are, thus forcing the player to explore and have a unique game every round. On the 17th of June, we have Neon Squad Tactics, which is a tactical turn-based VR game developed by Tin Man Games. Now this one's already out on the Quest but is making its way to PCVR, and basically here you'll be chilling out in a pub but at the same time projecting your consciousness to a team of skilled heroes known as the Neon Squad. You'll be securing valuable resources and credits essential for recruiting new squad members and crafting advanced weaponry and cybernetic enhancements. You can explore and fight through 31 playfields and 3 different biomes. Kind of think of this as Daimyo, but with cyberpunk theme. Then we have one of the, if not the best survival VR shooters of all time coming over to PSVR 2. It is of course Into the Radius by CM Games. The level of detail and immersion in this game is just insane. You have to clean your guns before going back into the zone and have your supplies in order because the last thing you want is having your gun jam mid-fight. Now with over 50 hours of gameplay, this should keep you entertained while waiting for Into the Radius 2 to leave early access. A bit of a random one, but Car Detailing Simulator VR by Games4matic and Playway is coming your way to PCVR on the 26th of September. These are the same guys that brought you hit titles Car Mechanic Simulator VR and Tank Mechanic Simulator VR. Here you'll get to wash 10 modern and classic cars. You'll get to unleash your skills in the art of restoration, bringing faded paint, worn interiors, and tired exteriors back to their former glory. Now this one's already available on the Quest Store with quite a lot of negative 1-star reviews, so maybe wait and see if the PCVR edition is gonna offer anything better. Down the Rabbit Hole is getting a sequel with Escaping Wonderland and coming out on the 26th of September to Quest and Pico by Cortopia Studios. Here you'll be able to mingle with the marvelous characters of Alice in Wonderland, delightful diorama-style immersive environments to lose yourself in hours of whimsical gameplay and perplexing puzzles. Now, even though I'm not the biggest VR puzzle player, I did really enjoy the narrative of Down the Rabbit Hole and even laughed out loud at times. The graphics were nice, and overall I just found this game to be quite enjoyable, so if initial reviews are just as positive, then I will sure be picking this one up. Metal Hellsinger VR is probably the game I'm most excited for, and coming to the Quest on September the 26th, and 1 week later will be available on PCVR and PSVR 2. Now, this is brought to us by Lab 42 and The Outsiders. This has been reimagined and completely redesigned from the very popular and well-received flat-screen VR rhythm shooter. The game is bursting with demons, badass weapons, and heavy metal music. You'll be slain to the rhythm of metal and vengeance on an infernal journey through 8 hells. Now, not only is this gameplay fast-paced and violent, but the composer duo Two Feathers have created an award-winning original score, And it has vocals by metal icons such as Serj Tankian from System of a Down and many, many more. Get ready to buckle up and check your mirrors because the 30th of September, Virtual Driving School by CGA Simulation is getting a full release on PCVR. Now this is actually a flat screen simulator that has a VR and steering wheel support. And with tutorial mode, driving lessons, realistic car physics and handling, it claims to be the ultimate learner driver experience. Now, I don't really have much for a game or simulation like this, but my wife who doesn't know how to drive might. So, if it turns out to be good, this could be a great way for new drivers to get a bit of confidence before hitting the road. Bygrid Alone is coming to Quest by the team at Crooks Peak. So this is an action horror shooter, which combines frantic combat with a harrowing sci-fi story set in a savage campaign for survival. Essentially, you're marooned in a bizarre unknown dimension, filled with ancient derelicts and ravenous aliens. You'll need to uncover the mysteries of the dead as you move ship to ship, slaughtering your way through hordes of brain-starved horrors. Now, watching this trailer, it has a very high-quality cinematic portion, which looks really good. The artwork looks amazing, but the actual gameplay footage, well, looks kind of mid to me. So this is definitely going to be wait and see how the initial reviews pan out for me. Thanks for watching and see you next time.